Now, so we have a question from Enoch. All right, Enoch, we answer your question today. Now, Enoch asked, well, very long question. All right, can Christians commemorate Remembrance Day? Right, Enoch, can Christians commemorate Remembrance Day? What is Remembrance Day? Anna, your brother, did he ask you? No. What is Remembrance Day?
Isn't it the day where you remember those who fought in war?
Okay, remembrance, the day where you remember the first time you ate McDonald's. No, right? What is it? Remembrance, like Anna say, has to do something about war, and people died in the war, died for you in the war. Wow. Okay, so yes, Remembrance Day. Now, commemorate. The question is, what is commemorate? Okay, what do you mean by commemorate? So, I'll ask you, what is commemorate? It says it's not celebrate, but commemorate. It's just words that you use all the time. Now, okay, so let me read to you about Remembrance Day first. Actually, students should know, right? Noah, what's Remembrance Day? Which war?
First World War.
First World War. And what has it to do with Australia? Don't know. Because Australia also fought in the war. Now, who has to commemorate Remembrance Day? My memory is fading. Remembrance Day in your school. Who commemorates Remembrance Day? Ah, all of you. Oh, so every year you do that. What day is that? Caleb? Which day? Elim? Don't know, you just remember we have to do it. Yes. 11 November. Wow, very good. 11th of November. Okay, 11th of November. Now, what do you do at Remembrance Day? Phoebe, what do you do at Remembrance Day? You have to be quiet for a minute. Yes, Enoch? Huh? Be quiet for a minute. Okay, last one. Isaac, what must you do? Be quiet for 1 minute. Do you stand up, sit down, lie down?
And then to remember the people who died during the war.
You sit down for 1 minute and you remember the people who died during the war. Right? Very good. All right, now, on 11th, at 11, based on at least what I can find out, at 11 a.m. on November 11th in 1918, all right, the guns at the Western Front fell silent, all right, so the gun did not shoot anymore after more than 4 years of continuous war. So 4 years the gun was just shooting in the war. But on 11th of November at 11, it fell silent, so no more shooting. And it tells us that the armies, the Allied armies, means the different armies that came together to form an alliance, they fought and they drove the Germans, they drove the German invaders back, right? And for many months, the Germans started to retreat. Then finally, in November, the Germans surrendered. So who were driven back? The Germans, all right? They surrendered to the Allied troops. Now the Bible tells us that, the history tells us the first modern world conflict that brought about 70 million people, wow, together to fight. And 9 to 13 million people dead. So it's a very, very major war that costed a lot of lives, right? So it's very major. Now then on 1997. So now you know, when did it start? Not in your school day last year. 1997, a governor called General Sir William Deane, he issued a proclamation. All right, so he proclaimed and said, on formally 11th of November will be Remembrance Day. And he asked all Australians to observe 1 minute of silence. So what time do you observe that 1 minute of silence? What time, Isaac? 11 a.m. So now you know why, right? 11 a.m. At 11 a.m. they observe 1 minute silence. So Sir General William Deane say, let's remember the war and those who suffered and died for Australia in the course of this war. Right? So that's why we have Remembrance Day. Do you have Remembrance Day in Malaysia? Yes. Same day.
Actually, I can't remember, but there is a remembrance statue.
Remembrance statue, alright? So now this is what they do. Alright, so Enoch, during this year's Remembrance Day, during that 1 minute of silence, Enoch was worried. Not worried that the dead people come and look for him. Now what was he worried? He said, oh no, should Christians commemorate Remembrance Day? So he sat there and started to wonder, I better submit this for teens Q&A, is it? Enoch? Yes, okay. So he said, I better submit for teens Q&A. So Enoch, what did you do when you were wondering? For that 1 minute, you kept quiet, you held your breath. Alright, so for 1 minute. So Enoch asked, so what do you think? What do you think? Jennifer, should Christians commemorate Remembrance Day? They're dead already, the soldiers are dead. Should we remember and commemorate Remembrance Day? We should. Why? But they're dead. Not sure why. Not sure why. Now what about the adults? Do you think Christians should participate in that? Oh, keep quiet, look down for 1 minute silence, but make sure children, you wake up after 1 minute, alright? Don't fall asleep and don't wake up. Alright? During that 1 minute, you're supposed to think of these dead people. Should Christians do that? What about the adults? What do you think? Ada, since you didn't submit questions, then I ask you questions. Should adults do that? Sit there, think for 1 minute, think of these people who died. You don't think it's wrong? Why think? Why would it be wrong? Why do you think maybe not wrong? What would be wrong? It is not sinful. So why you say maybe? If it's not sinful, not sinful. Why maybe? Why are you unsure? Would there be a situation where it's wrong? Yes. In what situation? Shenri said yes. What situation?
If it reaches to the point where it's like idolizing the nation.
If it reaches a point where you like idolize the nation, idolize these people. Okay? What is idolize? Means turn them into like gods, idol, worship them. Alright? So now, Elim, during the Remembrance Day, if I'm your teacher, Elim, observe 1 minute of silence and pray to these soldiers so that they will continue to protect us. Since they were so brave, they must be very brave angels now. Keep that 1 minute silence. Is it right or wrong? Can you do that? No. Why not? Now, so it is nothing wrong to remember. But the question is, when you remember, what goes through your mind? So, what should you remember? Maybe ask the adults. What should you remember? Sing Yun in that 1 minute. Well, actually, you finished already. You don't have school name. Let me see, Brenda. In that 1 minute, what do you think of?
I just go through what I learned in school, like the history.
You go through what you learn in school, like the history and everything. Yeah. Is there anything wrong? Now, Remembrance Day, as long as the Christian know the meaning, as long as we do not pray to the dead, understand that. You don't think, alright, the dead, they died for me, so I better pray to them. Let me talk to them. Oh, soldier, thank you for dying for us and fighting during this time and chased away the Germans. Thank you for protecting our nations. Then you'll be praying to them. Phoebe, do you do that? No. Then you become praying to them. We do not pray to the dead. Okay? So, but if it is to remember that these people, they sacrificed their lives, they died to drive away the enemies, to protect our nation, then to remember for what? Cornelius, remember for what then? Since you're not asking them for help, remember for what? Don't know. Right, who else? Faith or Grace?
Faith.
Yes, Faith.
Can you repeat the
Say again?
Can you repeat
The question is, what's the point of remembering?
it's basically grateful that
Grateful?
yeah.
Should we be grateful to the dead?
I mean, not exactly, but
Right? Grateful, yes, we should be grateful that there were people who protected the country. So remember that one day you have to protect the countries. Will you do that? Then remember they did that for us. We may need to do that for a future generation, right? Protect our nation. Yeah, you remember for living reasons. You don't remember the dead and be grateful to them in a sense of pray to them and thank them in your heart. Okay, that would not be the purpose. So there's nothing wrong with remembering the dead and remembering therefore how we ourselves should be when the time comes. Also remember, don't be people who go around invading other countries and causing harm to other countries. Remember that all these wars are wrong, right? Remember you studied about wars? Don't go around conquering other nations, correct? So remembering all this, there's nothing wrong, alright? So, hey children in school, so when you're remembering for that 1 minute, you should not be praying to the dead at all. What do we have here? Top 5 reasons why church dropouts, what church dropouts say, why they stop attending church. Now please remember 66% of, well I take the American view, they are the most readily available results. They stop attending church at least a year after turning 18. So from